All right. I think it's time, folks, to kick off our first session for today. So welcome to WordCamp Sydney, first day. I know that Dee already did this, but quick show of hands, who's first WordCamp ever? Wow, look at all these new faces. That's amazing. When was your first WordCamp, Myles?
I don't know, Porto, I think. WordCamp Europe in Porto.
Porto?
Yeah, Porto.
When was that? What year?
I don't know, 2022 maybe, not that long ago. Yeah.
That's pretty recent. I think my first one was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, welcome. We're very excited to have a great lineup of speakers for you today. I'm going to be emceeing for the first few sessions. My name's Jo. I'm also one of the organisers. So I got to do the fun job of reviewing all of the speakers, and I am so excited, especially about this one, because it's something that I think is a really hard topic to talk about and a really hard topic to convince people to listen to. But I personally am super excited that I get to listen to it today, so hopefully you all are too. Our presenter today is Myles, and Myles has a career spanning over 30 years. I asked him what the first website that he worked on was, and he said it was like his own personal website, I think, in HTML back in the 90s. So CSS probably didn't exist back then, I reckon.
No.
Yeah. So he's come a little bit of a way since then, because I also asked him what was the biggest site he worked on. And he said news.com.au was the largest WordPress installation in the Southern Hemisphere for quite a long time. So I don't know if you've heard of news.com.au, but they're like kind of big. So I guess that probably counts. I'll allow it. So Myles has covered all the bases in the online media space, working throughout different industries at the enterprise level. He is the CEO of a little company called XWP, you might have heard of it, and an enterprise-oriented WordPress agency. So they work on the big clients. And he delivers solutions, or they deliver solutions, for Earth's biggest storytellers. His current side hobby is increasing the collaboration within the WordPress ecosystem. So if you're interested in any of those things, go have a chat to Myles after the talk. Now, a couple of things. I mentioned the bingo card earlier. I checked. Myles can help you tick off 3 of the things that are on there. So if anyone's looking for their first bingo thing, go and have a chat with him after the talk. And make sure you get your selfie and post it to Twitter with the hashtag WCSID. Capital W, capital C, capital S. And without much further ado, I'm going to let Myles take the stage and tell us all about how to make WordPress the hero of your customer's journey. Welcome, Myles.
Thank you very much. Is this working? Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, we're good to go. I've got a time limit and I've got a timekeeper, so I've got to get cracking. And I think this clicker works. No, let's go. Okay, first of all, yes, this is me, Myles. I'm from Sydney, so I haven't travelled very far. I have been in the digital technology space since the 90s, doing websites here in Australia and overseas. And I had over 20 years of doing internet websites for News Corp Australia and News Corp globally. I am the CEO of XWP. We're an enterprise WordPress agency, pretty global. There's not many of us in Australia. And I'm also the co-founder of the Scale Consortium, which is a collaboration of enterprise WordPress agencies globally as well. So if you want to talk about that, I'm keen to have a chat about that one. Going to chuck you some stats. We've all seen the stats. 63% of the global CMS market, 22% of domain names in the US are run by WordPress. My stat I like here is WordPress is 3 times the next 9 combined CMSs. So it's a relative dominance. You can probably argue the semantics of some of these figures, but the dominance is not arguable. But the question then is, who cares? Who is it that we need to care about what they care about? And the answer will differ per clients, but they always ask the same range of questions. Is WordPress the best tech for my digital business? Normally they don't mention the digital bit. They're not looking for technology that runs an MRI or mining logistics or the checkout at Woolies. And for most digital businesses, the CMS, DXP, Agile CMS, whatever you want to call it, is at their core. It's the glue that brings their web and digital presences together. This is a question I ask. And normally then you go into some baseline stuff, the hygiene things. I don't want to forget about these things. There's still a lot going on. I'm going to cover off 4 very quickly that we've seen have been a recent high level of focus. Security is the first one. It's absolute baseline when they're looking for a solution like this. WordPress powers the White House and other major brands that are high risk from various actors and various threat points. Additionally, I want to shout out here to WordPress VIP in their recent FedRAMP certification. It's a US government program for cyber security risk management, and it's available for all of their clients. So it's another initiative in terms of security. I could go on about data security, SSO, MFA, zero trust systems, bug bounty systems, security at the code level, and of course a vibrant security-focused community. Next one is scale. We all love to go viral. If you look at some of the persistently high traffic websites like news.com.au, if you look at NASA in the recent solar eclipse, they did 1 billion requests in a 4.5-hour span. Most of those served under 400 milliseconds. And when Taylor Swift was announced Times Person of the Year, the only woman to have done it twice, they got smashed, but they stayed up. So performance at scale is just another hygiene factor now. Multilingual, as more audiences go global for interactions, we are seeing more requirements for multilingual. Here on screen, we see Fuji Camera's network of sites is all on one platform, powering multiple languages and across multiple product sites here in Australia, the Americas, probably a dozen APAC sites, 16 across Europe, including Iceland, and the WordPress translation community has translated WordPress into, I think last figure I saw was about 208 languages. Omnichannel, this is where consumers want to choose the touch point they have with your business. You need to connect to all of those channels that you want to connect to, but you also need to provide access controls at those channels, and you need to provide editorial and product controls. So a robust, well-documented API certainly helps this by exposing all or any of your data. The key point here is that the consumers want the choice. They don't necessarily want exact best practice at each touch point, but they do want to be touch point. And here on screen, we see a News Corp masthead, Daily Telegraph, presented across web, app, social media, push notifications, and integrations with big tech, all powered by one platform, which is WordPress. You can hit them with a diagram. The diagram, of course, will show WordPress as the center of your architecture. I enjoy a good diagram. It certainly resonates with the technologists in the room of your client. I'm going to quickly move on. No, you can take a photo. The slides will be in there. There's nothing special here. Okay. But my key point, my actual pitch is I don't think you should talk about these things. Or actually, not only these things, because in my enterprise experience of being an enterprise buyer for over 20, nearly 30 years, there is one main focus of enterprise stakeholders when you're talking to an enterprise stakeholder. And they will not tell you this requirement, but it's probably their one main requirement. As an enterprise buyer of digital technology for nearly 30 years, I've built, bought, composed platforms for a variety of business outcomes. The buying decision has many data points. In the 70s and 80s, the corporate speak used to be no one ever got fired for buying IBM. IBM's dominance in the enterprise tech showed it was trusted and established company. I can build a case that the CMS is the core of an enterprise's digital go-to-market tech stack. Here, I extend the case to say why WordPress is the trusted and established option. So I'm going to show you why the new digital mantra with the enterprise clients should be no one ever got fired for buying WordPress. So let's run through some stakeholders. Next slide, we'll have a series of personas. I'm going to only touch on a few of the points per slide, otherwise I'll run over time. CEOs have unique concerns. They want to be able to fund, acquire or divest all or parts of their companies. They also care about running an efficient, no surprises business that improves shareholder value. They do not want tech to be a problem area for their company. Actually want tech to be an enabler for their company. So I'm going to run through some of the points here. WordPress improves acquisitions and funding value. It's a globally recognized common platform, and this marketing domination is actually a positive when it comes to business acquisition and funding. It's a well-trodden path in acquisitions, and it's a known entity. A good WordPress platform looks good in due diligence. On the flip side of acquisitions, it eases divestments. Since you have access to all your code, all your data, you can carve off a part of your business if you want to divest in it. If you want to carve off a small chunk, there are multiple hosting and resourcing options for smaller subset of a network or a site. Shareholder value, it's measured in two metrics. First one I should say is obviously profitability. You can make a case there's a lower total cost of ownership for WordPress and multiple major budget line items, but I also make a case it actually enables revenue and market experimentation. The second metric is confidence. The market needs to have confidence that you can deliver what you say you're going to do. So the market size protection that WordPress offers is that there's a healthy ecosystem that is coupled with vendor choice that allows people who are analyzing your company to say, yes, using WordPress gives you options that increases confidence. I'm going to talk about the focus on the mission. It is not the mission of most companies to build CMS tech. Most companies have been distracted by this. It takes up headspace, it takes up investment. It's not good for company valuation if they are investing in non-core technology. You do not need to build your own composable CMS anymore. And we are actually seeing clients who have built their CMS, own in-house CMS, they've gone and try and sell their CMS in their markets, and they've come to us and said, we actually want to go to WordPress, that's not our core business anymore. Finally, as a CEO, if you can make your direct reports happy, that's going to make your job a lot easier. So we're going to run through personas of the CFO, CRO, CMO, CPO, and CTO. First one, the CMO. A lot of people say WordPress gets complicated at the budget line item. Actually, it delivers budget clarity line by line, more so than other solutions. You can break down WordPress by hosting, by people, by vendors, by agencies, by plugins. That allows you where to see your costs are going, and that allows you as an enterprise to make investment decisions about what you over or underinvest in. SaaS systems are usually a black box of license and scale costs, and with limited options to trim or tune budgets as an enterprise. You can, of course, go full service and get one bill from a WordPress agency or host or provider. There's probably plenty in the room that will do that for you. The second one I'm going to pick up is procurement control and options. There's always a procurement person in an enterprise. The main question is, what is it that we are buying? WordPress is the least black box solution for a procurement officer. They want options as well. They do not want vendor lock-in. A healthy agency and enterprise hosting ecosystem allows someone, if you, I'm going to pick on, let's pick on Side, right? If they fall out of love from Side, they can always come to XWP or the other way around. Everyone always falls out of love, but you can move. You can move from one healthy agency to another healthy agency, but from an enterprise, your technology stack doesn't have to change. I've chucked legal and compliance here because I didn't want to create another slide, and they're normally chucked together in the same room. The benefit of legal is they have the ability, they want to have compliance and audit trails. Because you have access to your data and access to monitoring your data, which you don't get with a lot of proprietary and SaaS software, that's a benefit to legal. And actually WordPress is so, market dominance around the world actually allows, with compliance with legislative requirements, in local jurisdictions. So whether in Australia or Singapore or Italy or the US, usually a WordPress agency has certified in the local market that you can you're either them or you can partner with them. Okay, the Chief Revenue Officer. Two points I'm going to pick on here is flexible monetization options. You can decide how you commercialize your value proposition to market, whether it's ads, subscriptions, products, services, offline, hybrid, anything. You do not want to get locked in about how your tech platforms say you should commercialize your business. And that's what you get with some of the proprietary and especially the SaaS systems. They only offer very limited options to commercialize your business. And then the second one is enables experimentation with your commercial models. It's open source. You can integrate with everything. We'll talk about that later. It enables experimentation. It has a healthy ecosystem that are probably already experimenting with your brand new commercial model. The ecosystem actually probably already has ways to implement your commercial model and probably is just a plugin. The Chief Marketing Officer. My statement is that WordPress is the best enabler of a go-to-market channel. In terms of branding, you can do something very quick, very MVP, thank you themes, or you can go full customization. If you go full customization though, you can also have enforcement of your branding through either roles control or themes or blocks. The message here is don't let your tech stack and other tech stacks, not WordPress, control how you want to express yourself to market. Some of those SaaS providers have very limited options of how you can, as an enterprise, express yourself in market. Going to go analytics and insights. Everyone has them. There's a lot of out-of-the-box integrations and data. Because of WordPress's market dominance, they have to be in the WordPress ecosystem. You will see some vendors out there who talk about analytics and insights. They only have a plugin for WordPress. They do not have easy integrations with other proprietary or SaaS services. You can go with a simple integration or a very sophisticated solution, or you can bring your own solution. Don't let your tech stack dictate what insights you can have from your own, capture from your own audience. Final one here is marketing integrations and automations. It integrates with all the major players and more. It supports the full marketing and sales funnel lifecycle with multiple options. This area is so important. I'm going to come back to it later in terms of the integrations. CPO, for those who don't know, the P equals product, Chief Product Officer. There's a lot of enablement for Chief Product Officers here. I'm going to pick on a few. Roadmap control. WordPress supports backwards compatibility. You're not going to turn off any features that you use. Primarily here, the main benefit is you can prioritize your own backlog. You can have disciplined releases, like feature toggles. You can decide when you release, day to day, what days you release, whether you release per product, per release. There's a lot of canary releases done across the market, so you do not have to take the risk of being the first one to release. You can have a healthy communication of your roadmap to your stakeholders. There's the WordPress project roadmap. There are ecosystem roadmaps from vendors and products and services and hosts. And you can bring your own roadmap, your own special source, whether it's from an internal team or from an agency. So the robust roadmap that you can't get from a lot of other SaaS providers and proprietary systems. WordPress enables you to go fast to market. It's composable, and the core supports minimal lovable product, minimal viable product, test, grow, and scale methodologies. There's obviously no code, low code, UX and features. There's fast deploy hosts, themes, and plugins. You can get fast to market. I love these videos online. You're building a website in 30 minutes, replicating those. Not quite sure how fully complete they are, but they look pretty good. Investment control. Backwards compatibility means you don't have any forced upgrades. A lot of us are dealing with clients now who are having to have a forced upgrade decision. Being open source and composable, you can over-index on the investment on your product priorities. So a lot of times you don't control that, but you want to say, actually, This is a channel, a go-to-market. It could be a web channel, it could be an app channel, it could be sides of bus stops type of thing. You can have the product control to over-invest in those areas if that's really where you think you're going to capture market value. My final point here, Chief Product Officer, is innovation investment. The market size of WordPress drives vendors to invest in innovation. They are probably already investing in the innovation you're talking about. The open source ethos then drives collaboration. And the result here is not only leading, but bleeding edge innovation in people who are doing plugins and integrations, themes, our product partners, our services, the platforms, and the hosting ecosystems. The CTO, the approach to the CTO, once again, there's a lot of enablement for CTOs. I'm going to pick on a few. You can manage and control your own change risk. Upgrade or not, patch or not, you can control the time when those releases happen, especially in Australia. You'll hear stories of the releasing an upgrade that's safe for the US market, but is horrendous for the Australian market. The SaaS and proprietary systems, they can also pull features and push changes anytime for any or no reason. Second one is you can own your own data. You have full access and control to your data. It's out of the box, or you can customize your schema. There's a lot of easy exportability options. There's multiple examples of large data movements in and out of WordPress stacks. When I was at News Corp, we were doing 500,000 publish events a day into the WordPress stack. It nearly smashed VIP, but they coped and stood up, right? But that's the kind of scale you can put into a WordPress stack as a publish event. Identity systems, you can go simple, or you can go all the way to sophisticated cross-enterprise patterns. There are powerful integrated experiences with web networks, apps, e-commerce, even off-network. It supports centralized ID stores across systems like CMSs, CDPs, CRMs, logistics systems. Enterprises care about integrating with zero trust systems and corporate logins. Once again, open source wins in this area as well. I wasn't going to talk about AI. Everyone talked about AI, but I want to make one point with AI. And then AI, there's a number one rule with AI is you have to have access and control of your own data. The WordPress API allows you to feed data into and out of your stack, server-side integrations, automated workflows, your data, your models, your commercialization of your data. Other systems don't allow you to do that. Final one is vendor freedom. There's multiple hosting options out there with easy and known migrations. There's a large, healthy agency ecosystem. Obviously, WordPress is very standard. You can have very standard implementation across, core and plugins. It's not always clean, but as I said, if you fall out of love with one vendor or an agency, you can go to another one, and your platform will essentially stay the same. Okay, bonus slide. This is not on my list of people that the CEO wants to make happy, but at some point, someone has to use a CMS and put some content into it. Could be a journalist, could be an editor, it could be a creative doing native advertising, it could be a marketer. Bonuses here, WordPress is known. It's a low learning curve if you don't already know it. It's got a very intuitive UI, but most people in the digital ecosystem already know how to use WordPress. And it enables innovative storytelling. Whether you're a journalist or a marketer, you just don't want to do the same old, same old. They do want to be efficient, but they also want to be innovative. There are so many plugins, products, services that enable wonderful, innovative ways to craft content, including no-code ways. So don't let a proprietary stack make you tell an editor or a marketer, I'm sorry, my stack doesn't support that. Your digital ecosystem is now an experimental landscape. you using it to explore how you're going to capture market value. This is not a technology experimentation, though you may need to do some, and there's nothing wrong with getting R&D tax credits as a corporate. I'm talking about the consumer and the business market changing faster at a pace that you can do with your tech stack. We have clients who are exploring now where their next monetization comes from, where their next market is, yet their platforms are locked into 3 or 5 year cycles. Companies need to be able to experiment with capturing value from the market and either persevering or pivoting. No one wants to be out-innovated by a competitor, and you do not want to be the technologist that says, I can't help you as a business out-innovate or catch up to a competitor because your tech stack is holding you back. So I want to give you a quick indication of some of the technology options that are out there about exploring market value. Let's start with composability. Even for the core platform, and remember, most companies, the CMS is the core of their architecture. 82% of respondents said they use alternative products for built-in features. For example, if you have a core platform, let's call it WordPress, you may want to use a separate product for commenting or forms or audience data. You want to choose which ones you switch in and switch out. Now, why would you want to do this? If you're kind of old school like me, you were raised on less is more, keep it consolidated. So this is why just one system is not trend. There are 4 key reasons: better functionality, less expensive to use, better user interface, and easier to govern and control usage. This is not replacing the whole system. It's being able to replace parts of the system. Take the most popular reason, better functionality, or as I like to call it, be better for specific use cases. They want to be able to choose. 84% of respondents in the Martech survey rated having a quality API as at the top or a core requirement. But only 18% said they were happy with their API, doing everything they want. So if you choose an open source platform where it has a quality API, there are multiple reasons and multiple capabilities then that you open up for your composable stack. And a key reason is, I say it again, you want to do experimentation. There's a landscape of opportunities out there. This is the marketing tech map for 2024. There's a lot of great options here. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong image. Sorry. This is 2014. Sorry, this is my mistake. There's probably about 1,000 in 2014. This is 2024. Sorry, probably a bit hard to read at the back. It has 14,000 MarTech products. New things on this map since 2014 include data is its own category. It didn't exist then. CDPs are a section within that category. Governance, compliance, and privacy is a new section. Retail, proximity, Internet of Things is new. Live chat and chatbots is new. Influencers is a new category with their own tools and services. So this map highlights the experimentation opportunities that allow an enterprise to engage and attract with their business's market. Remembering the CMS is at the core of your architecture. There are many vertical specific, service specific, audience specific, and data type specific opportunities here. All this is aside from the own special source systems that you may want to build as an enterprise. So it's no longer build versus buy. You need to factor in, compose, and integrate now into your thinking. We have seen corporate clients locked in to proprietary systems and not able to experiment or drive their own business roadmaps. They're missing out on all this opportunity. So let me wrap up. I'm just checking I haven't seen a sign there. I'm all good. Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. You moved. Okay. Look, you start with your business. What your business needs in order to go to market. This is not a technology decision. Where are their customers? What experiences do they want their customers to have? Of these experiences, which ones do you want to over-index on your investment? Which ones you maybe don't want to invest a lot in? And actually, which one don't you want to have? Which ones do you want to be able to take away? Answer these questions for the business and then expect it to change in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years time. Then invest in a technology that allows you to change. Don't make it impossible or difficult to change when your business changes. What we are finding is investing in tech stacks that allow corporates to change their investment profile, deal with rapid business changes and growth. Many times we have clients who have outgrown their SaaS service, clients who are suffering from proprietary license fees as they scale, and clients who are suffering because the framework they're using does not integrate easily with the experimentation they want to do. So for these reasons, I'm saying WordPress is ready for you to make it the hero of your client's digital story. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Are we on? Hello.
The light is red.
The light is red.
Push it. There you go.
Hey, there we go. Thank you. Now, we've got a second microphone here. Have we got both of these ones on? No? We might have to... Who's running this show?
I'll just press a button.
That's all right. We'll see if we can get that one working. Otherwise, this will be our running mic. So we do have some time for questions. We've got about just under 10 minutes that we can get some questions through. So does anyone have a burning question for Myles to kick us off? We've got one up the back. I've got one over this side. So we might start up over here. If you can just pop around, you might need to get the AV guys to just pass that mic over. Round of applause for our mic runner today, volunteering their time to help out.
Just a quick question about the recent sort of legal issues with WordPress and WP Engine and elephant in the room and all that. Is that having an impact on the sort of the confidence in the WordPress platform, given issues with like the ACF plugin sort of getting taken over and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, great. Thanks for your question. Is it having confidence in with clients, the enterprise clients, probably, the question. Our experience is no, but, and most of our clients are overseas at XWP. We have some really great clients in Australia. No, a lot of them clients don't work or, live in the kind of, I call the WordPress echo chamber, right? It has actually kind of gone out into the more mainstream media. Some of the more sophisticated clients are aware of it, right? WordPress is a large, robust ecosystem. I think there may be some enterprise clients that we will find we don't know about because they've chosen not to come to WordPress. There's a State of Enterprise WordPress survey out at the moment, which is probably one that's probably going to maybe capture some data on this going forward. But at the moment, I don't think it's having any impact on the enterprise market. I'm happy to talk about that if you want to talk about that.
Thank you. Mine's more a statement than a question, and thank you for the presentation. It was awesome. And I'm making an assumption here, there's probably a lot of people in the room that deal with small to medium businesses.
Yep.
And what I got through that is there could be one person in all those personas in a small business. But there was important points I could take out of all of that. When we're talking about a website for a small business, I'd say 70% know what WordPress is or have heard about it. The others don't. Some care, some don't. But I think this gives me some tools that I can speak to them about to ask some questions to make WordPress seem awfully important to their business. The key takeaway from me was even if it's a small business, at that CEO level, most small businesses are in business to make money for a start, but they always look to the future of selling their small business. And that key takeaway is WordPress is, when they do their due diligence and buying a business, that WordPress is one of those assets. So thanks for the information, appreciate it.
No worries.
more questions to Myles? Yeah, we've got one down here.
Thank you. Morning, Myles. Sorry I was late.
That's right.
One of the things that sticks out to me there when you talk about the CFO having usually a quite a major role in the decision making for a potential client. The one thing that we find a challenge with WordPress versus, say, Adobe or something out of the box is from a procurement point of view or a financial point of view, the challenge of having a contract with a hosting provider, a contract with an agency, plugins that you've got subscriptions to, having to manage all three of those, like how do you propose or how do you overcome that challenge from a simplicity point of view versus some of these out-of-the-box solutions?
You can play it both ways, Corey. One is you can offer the CFO a budget line item, right? So they can very clearly see what the hosting costs are, what the resource costs are, and the resource costs tend to be broken into both CapEx and OpEx investment. So you can see what a CapEx investment might look like, and they say, well, we don't want to have that level of capitalization investment, so you can drop it down to an OpEx investment. And then you have options. I've learned another great diagram I didn't chuck up there. You can have options on resourcing, so you can really go low cost as an enterprise for a period of time if you want to underinvest on your platform, or you can have a middle internal team, which is a cost saving, and then you can bring in an agency like ours to do some enterprise heavy lifting. There's plenty of, if you want to downsize, there's plenty of agency options that can go low cost as well. Offshoring options here in Australia. So you can get quite detailed with the CFO and show them the journey of how they may control their WordPress costs over the life cycle of how they want to invest over the years, right? But sometimes they'll go, well, there's multiple budget line items there, and sometimes that's not good. Sometimes we'll go behind or in front of a host as well, so they do get one relationship, they do get one bill on a monthly basis. That can happen on small to medium enterprises as well as large enterprises. So you can play it both ways, and actually we've played it where you may get detailed at the beginning of an engagement, and then you'd go one bill during the engagement. There's plenty of opportunities for an agency to obviously rep hosting providers as well in terms of having one approach. Our experience is you read the client and you can offer them either one, right? So we've done that, several times in terms of that. But you can still always talk to the CFO about, how the business is going, and then what kind of options they want to do, because sometimes they want to go cheap and sometimes they're happy to over-index on investment. Yeah.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. So I've got one down here. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. Apologies if I did, but please don't hesitate to go and hunt down Myles and get a photo with him and ask him your burning question at the end. So our last question for today for Myles.
Pressure is on.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know which platform WordPress is being pegged up against at the enterprise level that you're having to convince.
Yep. Well, there's large difference of enterprises. So some of them still run their own kind of custom in-house thing. So you may have seen at WordCamp US, our XWP was on stage with Vox. So Vox was very famous for running their own CMS chorus. They decided not to invest in it anymore, moving all of Vox media to WordPress, and we're helping with that across all their brands. There's another one we've just started as well, another major media brand in the US that are also transitioning. But in terms of proprietary systems, obviously AEM, Sitecore. We had a fintech here in Australia. We saved literally multiple six figures in license fees just going off Sitecore to WordPress. So they can now invest that back in the business, not paying any license fees. Now, WordPress is open source, it's free, that's great. I'm not saying it doesn't cost anything. It still costs, hosts and people and features and plugins and things, right? But you're not paying out of the box, license fees, right? So your Sitecore. There are some that kind of go off and do other kind of more minor CMSs. If you look at the marketing figures, you have WordPress. I think the second one is Shopify, something like that, then, but these are only single-digit market shares, right? So, there are a plethora of them out there. We recently moved all of our media here in Australia to a single WordPress platform. They had Umbraco, they had old versions of WordPress, run their own. So I think the issue is it's quite fragmented. There's obviously Drupal as well, right? We get people having to do the kind of Drupal end of life migration thing. So, but even they're very small single digit market share figures, right? So there's no one dominant thing, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Myles.
So thank you very much. Thank you.